Hello, Zero Apex. I'm almost done here. David, what's up? How's it going? Happy Monday, Daniel Barry, Sports Highlights. All right. Get this thing going. Okay. What's up? Micah, probably the latest you've been this year. Well, Micah, I don't know how I'll ever recover from this tardiness of yours. I'm heartbroken. I'm going to cry myself to sleep now. I'm just kidding, Micah. You're fine. So, what did everyone think of the race? Oh, hi, George. I had a question I was going to ask in a poll. It was a good one, too. I forgot it, though, so it couldn't have been that good. What did it have to do with? What did it have to do with? Man, I wish I could remember. Worst race of the year. Worst race of the year. Hello, Born Again Briar. Jamie. Hey, Jamie. You know who actually showed up this week? Joey Logano. Your goat. I got a friend named Grant. His goat's Joey Logano, too. So you, Jamie, you and Grant can suffer at Darlington together and celebrate the third place at Martinsville together. Third, right? Yeah, third. There you go. What was I looking up? Oh my goodness, I'm all over the place. I had a great question for the poll, and then I forgot it. Then I thought I remembered it, but then I forgot it again because I was distracted. Oh boy. Oh right, someone said the what was the worst race of the season? Okay, worst race of the season. Let's see here. Daytona. Daytona was solid, all right. Um, at the moment, I'm blanking out at what happened outside of the finish, so that sucks. Atlanta was fun. I remember Atlanta being fun. Coda, I thought Coda was a solid race. Phoenix was pretty good for a Phoenix race. Vegas, I thought was all right. It was meh. Darlington was a pretty normal Darlington race, and then Martinsville was kind of bleh. Yeah, I would say Martinsville. That was probably the worst race of the season. So who was that? Micah. Micah said that. Micah, I'd have to agree with you there. That was probably the worst race of the season so far, and it really wasn't that horrid. It was pretty meh, but it wasn't like a stinker. It wasn't the 2022 spring. 2022 spring Martinsville, the worst Martinsville I have ever seen, and I hope I never see a Martinsville race worse than that, because if I do, if I have to see a Martinsville race worse than that, it's borderline impressive, because that was just horrendous. Horrendous. 2018. 2018. Austin Dillon won the Daytona 500. Then we probably went to Fontana. Who won 2018 Fontana? Truex, I think. Then we probably did the West Coast swing with Vegas Spring, which was probably Harvick. Then Phoenix Spring. Oh, that's right. Harvick won like 3 races in a row. And then Fontana was going to be the 4th in a row, but then he and Larson, I think Harvick just wrecked himself in front of Larson, if I remember that correctly. Speaking of, I was looking at Fontana on the satellite the other day. I'm all over the place tonight, guys. I'm sorry. Dude, it's sad. It's really sad, honestly. I used to go through that thing when they were tearing it down, and it was still there because, the satellite, it only updates like once a year, and it was still there in its full form, and then one day I went on and it was just gone. Well, right now, it's just sad. I pride myself on finding it without searching it, so, oh well, that was easier than I thought. Anyway, it's just sad stuff here. This is Fontana now. Yeah. So, that sucks. Yeah, Jamie, it's just, if you want me to zoom in more, if I do it long ways, I got the stream going up here, so that's what you're looking at the top. But this is it. This is literally all that's left of Fontana. They already have a warehouse where turn 1 is. I'd love to go out there. I mean, LA is kind of far away, but I'd love to go out there and just get an update, just go and look at it. And then, I don't know, do they even have offices out there anymore? Like, talk to someone about, what are we doing here? And then, I don't know, go talk to the warehouses, see what they think about Fontana coming back. I don't even know what this warehouse is. Let's see, can we get a 2D on this? We're doing some investigating right now. I can't really see a logo. Maybe the warehouse isn't open. It's still being built, but I don't see a logo on it yet. I don't know yet. Anyways, we got distracted looking at satellite images of Fontana. By we, I mean me. But, anywho. Let's move on to Martinsville, or go back to Martinsville, where we were earlier. 2018, the year of the Big Three, and Hendrick's worst season ever. Yeah, Hendrick had what? Let's see. Elliott won 3 that year. Bowman was winless. Byron was winless. Jimmy Johnson was winless. They only had 3 wins that year. That's pretty pathetic by their standards. Nee! Hello, Nee. It's evening here in the US of A, but yeah, I guess that tracks that Australia and New Zealand would be the afternoon on Tuesday. It's crazy. Martin says, here's an idea, maybe an auto club oval street course. Well, right now, according to the satellite, there's a bunch of dirt. So, Martin, I'm going to one-up your idea, and I'm going to say let's do an auto club roval that's half paved, half dirt. Like, that's pretty genius if you ask me. It wouldn't work, but hey. It's like we had that video a couple months ago where I did like the craziest street course ideas. I'm thinking of doing another one right before San Diego, but it would be like one for each continent. We could do a little bit of mix and mash. We could do some rallying in the dirt and in the beaches and in the snow if we need to, but a roval with dirt. That's my idea to kind of add on to your thing, Martin. Will a second-tier Chevy or Ford organization win, or just the Toyota gang with 2311? Jamie, I would assume SVG wins a road course, so that would kind of blow up your theory there. But if we're not including road courses with Shane Van Gisbergen, Chastain has looked nowhere close to winning speed anywhere so far, and he's probably the best shot for Chevy. Oh, I guess there's Spire. Yeah, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's a Spire guy, Jamie. I forgot Spire existed for a half second. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say it's Spire. For Ford, I could see an RFK car winning. Barry is a wild card, but I would say RFK is the best shot. And then Toyota, obviously, their second team already did, but you never know. Legacy Motor Club. Eric Jones at Darlington or, a super speedway. But yeah, those would be my best guesses. Yes, Born Again Briar, thank you for bringing that up. Brock, hello, if I didn't say it already. Born Again Briar brings up Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric, he's had a rough go these last couple of years. Yes, he got the win at Talladega last year. Yes, he got the win at Gateway in 2024. Outside of that, it's been a little bit rocky. But Austin Cindric, these last couple of weeks, he has started to perform much better. And at tracks he doesn't usually do great at. Like Darlington last week, top 5. Martinsville this week, top 10. And it wasn't just a top 10, you kind of sneak in there, late race caution or a weird strategy. Like Austin Cindric scored stage points. He was in the top 10 all day. They have launched up. They were down here in this group. And these 2 great finishes has launched them up into the top 20 in points. So we're going to look at Austin Cindric's profile. I meant to do this last night, but I didn't. That's on me. But Born Again Briar has reminded me, and that is why we do the Monday after, so that we can talk about this. We can talk about what I miss. So Austin Cindric, when we look at his point totals, obviously these last 2 weekends have been elite. Top 5 at Darlington. In fact, how many stage points he even scored at Martinsville, he actually outscored himself in a top 5 finish at Darlington. So, I mean, Austin Cindric's been great these last 2 weeks, whereas before that, he's a great super speedway racer, so this is below expectation. Penske car should never be getting 5 points unless they wreck or something. I don't even remember what happened to Cindric that race. 13 points at Phoenix is bad. 19 points at Vegas is not great. But these two, very, very good. So if they can continue this momentum, thinking about the upcoming tracks, we have Bristol, we got Kansas, we got Talladega. Talladega, he's going to be a threat to win. Kansas, I think he's been hit or miss. The intermediates, he was good last year. Obviously, Vegas this year did not go their way. But you never know. I don't know. And then Bristol, I kind of forget how he did at Bristol. So that's on me. Even Josh Berry is improving a bit. Yeah, Josh Berry finished in the top 10. That's his second top 10 of the season. Yeah, not a great start for Josh Berry. Obviously, last year, he had a fantastic start. The top 5 at Phoenix, follow it up with the win at Vegas, and then they went on like a 20-week skid of not getting a top 5 or top 10 or whatever it was. Well, this year they got 2 top 10s, so they don't have that win like they did last year, or the multiple top 5s, but 2 top 10s, but in a points hole. Realistically, Josh Berry could make the chase. Right now he's, 167, and he has 112. I think that's a 55-point difference. He's got plenty of time. He's got plenty of time to make that up. Marty. Hi, Marty. Sky Talent. Hello. Tyler Hernandez. Hello. We'll talk about fantasy in a minute. Man, I'm going to be unbearable this week. Sky Talent, by the way, I know you won because you beat me. I finished second. Sky Talent, congratulations on your win in advance. We will get there here in a minute. But back to Marty's original point. Good evening. Do you think it's too early for bashing on Connor Zilisch? He has been a big disappointment for me this year. I would say yes. The expectations should not. I know he's a hot prospect. He won 10 races in O'Reilly last year. Like, he killed it, right? Well, the Cup car is a completely different car. It's his first full year with the team. He's 19 years old, and I know Kimi Antonelli in F1. I guess it's his second year, so he's different. Anyways, back to the original point on Zilisch, is that there was a lot of expectations, especially on the road course, and he performed at the road course. It's just he got taken out a couple times, which is out of his control. So he had the speed there, but everywhere else, he's still learning. He hasn't been to a lot of these ovals at all in the Cup car. Some of these, it's going to be his first time, so I don't think we can judge Zilisch harshly. It's kind of like SVG last year in a sense, honestly, where he's going to some of these places for the first time or the first time in a Cup car, and he has so little experience. It's like, just kind of back off. But it's, in terms of making the chase, I know it's only 7 races, but that's a quarter of the regular season, is not looking good. He is almost 100 points back, I believe, if my math is right. He's 87 points back of Suarez. That is more than a race win. That is more than the max points day. He is going to need some help. They are going to need to start picking it up. I know they have 3 road courses on there that they can rack up a lot of points, but he's going to have to start picking up on the ovals as well. It's really feeling like we're going to talk about SVG's 2025 start versus his 2026 start. Well, Connor Zilich's 2026 start is feeling like SVG's 2025 start because we're going to another stat profile. How about that? That's what we do here. It's not pretty. Double digits and everything. Everything. Like, best finish of 14th at Coda, and he had to overcome 2 wrecks in that. In fact, it's the only race he scored 20 or more points in. 18th at Darlington. Everything else has been 20th or worse. In fact, 25th or worse, if my math is right. Yeah, it's been an abysmal start to the year. This is literally looking like Shane Van Gisbergen's start to last year. Good coda, speed-wise, but the result was a little bit disappointing based on speed. Finishing in the 30s. finishing close to the 30s here, finishing in the 30s, and a bad finish here. So it's not pretty, but once again, he's a rookie. There's a lot of expectations, I know, but give him a break. Give him some breathing room. Let him actually learn the ovals and, maybe reevaluate in a few months. We'll see what happens. Like, when we come back to the summer, when we go back to Atlanta for the second time, let's see where he's at. Matt Smith. Hello. Trackhouse also has not been helping because, they've been slow this year. Overall, it feels like they've been slow, but yeah. Oh, yeah, the Hall of Fame, the nominees came out. I guess I could pull that up for you guys real quick. Oh, my God. I'm so glad I have a second screen. You didn't have to just see what I saw. So here we go. Pull this over here. Here are our nominees for the Hall of Fame. Modern ballot, we have Greg Biffle, Neil Bonnet, Tim Brewer, Jeff Burton, Randy Dorton, Ray Elder, Ernie Elliott, Kevin Harvick, Randy LaJoie, and Jack Sprague. Then the Pioneer ballot, we have Ray Fox, Harry Hyde, Banjo Matthews, Herb Neal, and Herb Nab, I can't read, sorry, and Larry Phillips. So, there we go. That's the Hall of Fame. The nominees, at least. I think Harvick's going to be a first ballot, if I had to guess. And then everyone else's guess, I believe in you. But Harvick is going to be a first ballot, if you ask me. So. No, I will not be in Rockingham. I am far away from Rockingham. I will be at home with family because Easter. So, I'm looking forward to it. Time with family. It's always good. Yeah, man, I've never been to Martinsville. I've never had a Martinsville hot dog, but people talk a lot about it. Personally, I just like a hot dog. I don't like putting all the extra stuff on it, but apparently you kind of have to at Martinsville. And what do they put on a Martinsville hot dog? Let's see here. Just looking at it, it's... What is on a Martinsville hot dog? Mustard, chili, onions, and a vinegar-based coleslaw. Dude, you're those are all misses for me. I don't like mustard. Not a chili guy. Onions, if they're grilled, maybe. Coleslaw, I will take half a bite, and I guarantee you that will be it. That is a hard no for me. But if you give me just a normal hot dog, I will eat it. Oh boy. Yeah. It'd be cool to go to the North Wilkesboro race for sure, Jamie. If you're going, I hope you have a great time. Anyways, I think it's time to talk about fantasy. Someone brought it up earlier. It was an elite weekend for me, I must say. Look at this. Sky Talent, you're here. Sky Talent, you won the race. I finished second after a week away from the top 5. Second in the race. 5 points away from another win. Speedy Petey finished third. Then we had a tie for fourth. All these ties. Dan the Jets fans. David Jerry 24 fan. And then we had Matt Smith. Matt Smith, you're here. You finished 6th. Sportswagon, Kingswood, and Fantastic Priest tied for 8th. And then Kirk Memorial Motorsports in 10th. As for everyone else, Micah, you're here. You tied for 11th. Klaus, 16th. Tyler, you're here. 17th. Tied for 17th. Nee, where did you finish? Nee, we're just kind of going through. Oh, 38th. Yeah, it's a rough day. Yeah. So, and let's actually go. Oh, no, not Elliott in the garage. I almost benched him for Bubba at the last minute because neither of them scored stage points. But I was like, man, Elliott, I'm not going to use him elsewhere. Sure, why not? When we go to the league, Kirk Memorial Motorsports is still our points leader. Then we got Kingswood in second, RT Racing. Micah, dude, you're fourth in the points. Matt Smith, you're fifth in the points. Kiwi Mike, you're tied for fifth in the points. Tyler, you're seventh. Everyone who's here is in the top 5 of the points, apparently, or top 10. Dan the Jets fan, our first champion, is up here in the top 10. Boosted Cal is in the top 10. And 9th. Aussie Matt is 10th. I'm 11th. Okay. Dude. There was a time I was dead last in the points. Dead last out of everyone who had entered. Dead last. I've climbed back to 11th. 11th. So proud. So proud. A win at Coda, runner-up at Martinsville, a couple other top 5 sprinkled up in there, and you go from 50th to 11th. Let it be known. Anyways, going through everyone else, we've got Klaus. I see that you're here. I see that you're driving. Be safe. Don't be on that phone while driving, or just be safe. Just be safe, Klaus. Be safe, please. Jamie, 17th. Sky Talent, 14th. I skipped over you. You're our winner this week. I shouldn't have skipped over you. Coming down here. Nee, you're 24th in the points. So it was a bad week, but you're still top 25 in the points. We got like 55 entries. So you're top half. You're top half. Who else here? Who else? Dunkin' Donuts, man, the championship hangover is just so real. Marty, you're here, 45th. Marty, I believe in you to pick it up. As a former bottom dweller myself, I believe in you to pick it up. You got, dude, if I finish top 5 in this championship, you guys are, you think I'm unbearable now. I will be even more unbearable. And then we only have 2 non-entries this year. That's great. We have 53 people putting in their entries. Round of applause. And now, if you thought I was unbearable now for finishing second in the fantasy this week, well, guess who got the 36 for 36 right this week, people? Boom. First 36 for 36 correct pick of the season. Last year, I think I had 3. Briscoe at Pocono, SVG Watkins Glen, and what was the third? I think maybe like Larson, Spring, Kansas, I think. I think those were the 3. So 1 for 7 right now is pretty good. I've had a lot of good points weeks. I've been waiting for the win to happen, and I always use Elliott for the spring Martinsville race. Finally, it paid off. He capitalizes. He takes it. Gets me my precious 36 for 36 win. So when we go to the points over here for our 36 for 36 league, I'm also 11th in this. Dawfox is up to first, 20-point lead over 2x29K. Boosted Cal, David Anderson, Star 88. Micah, you're top 5 in both of our leagues. Dude, you're killing it. Good grief. You got 2 in a row? Oh, Micah. All right, Micah. All right. You're on pace for what is that? Like 10 wins? I probably did that math wrong. But D's Lug Nuts, Rocky Mountain High, Geesey Racing number 41, Mankato Mike. Once again, I pronounced that wrong. Crew Dog, and then I'm 11th. Jamie, you're right there in 12th. David, you're 15th. Mike, you're in 22nd. Brock, you're here. Brock, if that's you, 25th. Who else? Sky Talent, you're 30th. You're doing a little bit worse in the 36, but hey, there you go. Kloss, you're 36th. Nee, you're 41st. Ooh, you got to pick it up, Nee. You got to pick it up. And we have more entries than this, ironically enough. We have 67. Jags fan is in here twice. All right, that's fair. That's cool. Tyler, you're 59th. Tough. Mean Green Rice. Dude, is that a UNT? We have a UNT fan? No way. Cacaw, people. Anyways, let's see here. David got the 36 for 36 right. Brock got the 36. Hey, Nee, you want to hear something funny? So you got the 36 or 36 pick wrong. Yes, that is true. You don't get credited with a win. I don't even know if they count your wins, right? It's just for me, right? Like a mental thing I like to have. Well, guess what, Nee? You picked the wrong 36 for 36, but your pick outscored the actual winner. So you got more points than everyone who won. So I picked Chase Elliott, Brock picked Chase Elliott, David picked Chase Elliott, Micah picked Chase Elliott. Well, Nee, you who picked Denny Hamlin, outscored all of us who picked Chase Elliott. So you technically outscored us. You just didn't get the satisfaction of victory. But you still outscored us. So, Nee, you had a big points week. Really big points week. Yeah, we went all the way to the end here. See, there you go. Smile. Yeah, there you go. Smile about it. Well, Sky Talent, man. Blaney, dude, I'm saving Blaney for Homestead. I'm just going to be straight up honest about it. Because I saved Blaney for Phoenix last year. I think I used him at Phoenix, so I guess I had 4 last year. But I'm saving him for Homestead this year. Spoiler alert. I have like half of this mapped out. I truly do. But anyways, let's go to some statistics because Jamie brought up Larson. So here's an interesting little nugget. William Byron has only led 34 laps. That is significantly less than Chase Elliott. And granted, Chase Elliott led like 85 laps on Sunday. So that's the majority of this, but it still counts. Kyle Larson, 137. I don't think Bowman's led any. If he has, it's like 5. No, he has not led any. So, William Byron, in terms of laps led, only 34. And it's not like we've been going to tracks that William Byron performs poorly at. Vegas, he's won at. Phoenix, he's won at, though. Phoenix isn't really a Hendrick track, so I don't really want to mess with that. Defending Daytona 500 winner, 2-time defending Daytona 500 winner. He's won at Atlanta before. He's done well at road courses, specifically COTA before. Martinsville, obviously, in the fall, he led like 5 trillion laps. So only 34 laps through this portion of the schedule. I know Chevy's had its struggles and Hendrick's had its struggles and everyone is talking about it, right? I don't like this, William Byron. I don't like that. That's concerning, if you ask me. Like, he led 6 laps early at Martinsville. He passed Denny for like 6 laps. He didn't even run away. Denny was still right there. Outside of that, he was pretty irrelevant in terms of the win, whereas his teammate Chase Elliott obviously led 80-something lap. I want the number. 84 laps. I was close. He led 84 laps. Larson, I don't think led any, but Larson's led elsewhere, so he gets a little exemption here. So I'm going to put Jamie's question. Jamie's question is going to be our new poll. Will Kyle Larson go winless? Or, you know what? Or Byron. In 2026. And guess what? I can add options. Ooh, the Rangers won again. All right. Oops. Nope. We only need 3. I think I did this right. I think if it's confusing, tell me, and I'll rephrase it. Yeah. I don't think either of them are going winless. If we're being completely honest, no, neither of them are going winless. But you know, you never know. You You never know. Because every once in a while, it'll be like a big name driver randomly goes winless. Like Truex went winless in 24, and that was his last season. But he went winless in 22. No one expected him to go winless in 22. Let's see other drivers on this. Like no one, I don't think anyone expected Reddick to go winless last year. Chase Elliott was winless 2023, but the leg injury. Hamlin had that random winless year. I think it was 18. Christopher Bell, I don't think he's gotten winless since he started to win. Keselowski was winless last year, and I think some people might have predicted that. Larson's entering a one-year winless streak, but he won 3 races last year. Logano went winless last in 17, I think. I want to say 2017 because they cucumbered his win. Encumbered is the real word, but cucumber is funnier. Outside of that, like, there's no real big name winless. Well, Kyle Busch. I don't think anyone expected Kyle Busch to go winless in 2024. He's been winless since that. So I guess Kyle Busch would be on that surprise winless list. Yes, I know Logano won in 2017 at Richmond, but it was cucumbered. Does it still count? Like, see, this is why they got rid of the cucumber rule. It's because it was too confusing. Does the win count? Does it not count? Racing Reference saved me. If it counts as a win, I will stop calling it a non-win. But it's the reason he didn't make the playoffs that year. Logano didn't make the playoffs because they cucumbered his win. It's taking a while to load. Give me a second. Racing Reference saved me. Okay, well, maybe if it counts, then maybe we'll just call it a Houston Astros because it'll have an asterisk next to it. Okay, they did count it. So Joey Logano did have a win in 2017. Okay, so Jamie, you don't know your own driver. Joey Logano had a win in 2012. 2012, Joey Logano won at Pocono. He won from the pole. Oh, yeah. I kind of remember that now. Yeah. Oh, see, Micah already corrected you. Anyways. Hi, Cameron. Yeah, it still counts. Yeah, I was confirming that. So, Joey Logano, I apologize for not counting your win in 2017 at Richmond because at the time it was really confusing if the win counted or not because the NASCAR rules were whack. Now they're less whack, so if that happened again, it would not count. But for the time, it counted. You won at Richmond in 2017, but you didn't make the playoffs. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, Kyle Busch's winless streak is at 100. I don't see an end in sight, especially at RCR. I mean, let's come over here. Kyle Busch fans, look away. Don't look. Kyle Busch fans, tune out. Leave. Come back in 5 minutes. Qualified 34th. 24th might be the best they ran all day. I swear he did what Logano did last week, but a little bit better. But at this point, it's like not surprising with Kyle Busch because RCR is that bad. It's just, it's a little bit depressing, honestly. Like Kyle Busch, just a few years ago, was still tearing it up, winning races, being himself. But he's going out, as Micah said, he's going out sad. Like, this is not pretty. It's not fun. It's not. Kyle Busch, when he's at his best, he's exciting. He's the show. He is the kind of villain guy. And sure, he doesn't want to be the villain anymore. But when he wins, it's more exciting. In NASCAR, when we have that personality, when we have this all-time great driver winning, I'm not saying I want him to win 10 races a year again or whatever it was, but just get one. Come on. Like, RCR, can you just give him a little bit of that nos that you give Austin Dillon at Richmond? I don't care where it is. If it's at Texas, if it's at Charlotte, if it's at Atlanta in the summer, if it's at North Wilkesboro, if it's at Kansas, if it's at Talladega, just give him a little bit of that little something. Heck, give Austin Dillon a year off at Richmond. But it's... So, of course, now the comments are flooded with, do you think Kyle Busch is in an RCR car? Free Kyle Busch from RCR. Kyle Busch to the 48. And, of course, there's something about the 48. No, I don't think Kyle Busch is going to be at RCR next year. There is literally no reason for Kyle Busch to stay at RCR. Unless in the summer or in the late spring, early summer, so like between now and June, unless RCR finds some magic pixie dust to put in the engines or to put on the aerodynamics that makes them maybe win a race or two or gives them a promising thing about the future, no. Kyle Busch, there is no reason to stay at RCR. Now, where does he go? That is the big question. Where would he go? Because there's a lot of seats open next year, right? Theoretically, right now, technically, if we're being technical, there is a seat open at 2311 Racing. Let's be double realistic. There might be 2 seats open at 2311 Racing, but let's flip the reality back. Tyler Reddick is going to re-sign. Corey Heim will be in the 35. So 2311 Racing is off the table. Going to Hendrick Motorsports, the 48 is a bit of a mystery, and right now I think Alex Bowman, what's his health status? Let's figure that out first, so I don't want to really mess with that. Now let's go through the other free agencies. Okay. I think someone said technically this is open, but dude, if Ford fumbles Ryan Blaney, like, everyone needs to be fired. That would be pathetic. So Ryan Blaney staying at Penske. We're going to assume that. This could be interesting. Maybe, potentially. I think he's good for now. I think he's got another 1 to 2 years to kind of prove his worth. I think he's fine there. He's on a long-term extension. He's going to stay there. He's proven his worth, if you ask me. He owns the freaking team. We already talked about him. Now Chastain is interesting. Ross Chastain is interesting. I'm pretty sure he's on a multi-year deal at Trackhouse. But hear me out. What if one of those big seats opens? What if Tyler Reddick doesn't re-sign with 2311? What if Ryan Blaney actually does leave Team Penske? What if the 48 does open up? Well, Trackhouse is kind of stinking it up right now. Ross Chastain is in the prime of his career right now. Why not go take a chance with a bigger team if you're Ross Chastain? Yes, there are contracts in place and things have to be shredded and there are going to be buyouts, but Chastain's a good enough driver. I think someone would buy out that contract as long as it's not like 5 years. I don't know. That could spice things up. Anyways, I'm throwing out all these possibilities I don't know anything about. I only know if a seat is open or like, fun possibilities I'm throwing out here, like the Chastain thing. The 7 is technically a contract year, I think. But Suarez has been doing so good thus far, I think they would keep him in that seat. But it's a possibility. Kyle Busch to Spire, obviously he's had a lot of success in their trucks. He has a relationship, Gainbridge, all that. If Suarez ends up not doing good enough for Spire's standards, you never know. Legacy Motor Club, I see a lot of people in the comments here. Let's see who said it. Craig said it. George said it. A lot of people bring it up. Legacy Motor Club is a wild card because they have Eric Jones in the 43, John Hunter Nemechek in the 42. I think they're fine with that foundation. There's the third car. It's been said multiple times they will have a third charter next year. They're going to have a third entry. My question is, what number is it going to be? I would guess 44, but you never know. But the question is who's going to be in it. A lot of people, some people in the comments here. George is saying it right here. Jesse Love potentially. But what if they want to go get a veteran, like a fully seasoned veteran? I know Eric Jones has been in the Cup Series almost a decade now, but what if Kyle Busch goes back to Toyota? He goes over to Legacy Motor Club. You never know. You also got to remember, all these people we're talking about, they got to go somewhere else too. If Daniel Suarez isn't at Spire, he's got to go somewhere else too. If Tyler Reddick's not at 2311, he's got to go take one of these seats. If Alex Bowman's not at the 48, he's got to go somewhere else. If, who are these other free agents we're talking about? Like all these free agents, they got to end up somewhere else. I don't know what Colleague's situation is. I will admit that. I don't know Colleague's situation. Yep, that's another factor. David bringing up another factor. Well, dude, what if Max Verstappen wants a full-time ride? Realistically, I don't think he'd go straight to full-time Cup racing, but he's got big enough of a pull. I could completely see a Cup Series team pulling the trigger on hiring Max Verstappen. The problem is a lot of these teams don't have Max Verstappen money. Max Verstappen's going to demand a high paycheck, and also he doesn't want to do the ovals, so someone's going to either have to convince him to do the ovals, or he's going to have to split a ride with someone and fight for the owner's championship, so that's a complicated slope too. Let's throw out some hype. Okay, everyone. This has turned into a let's throw the craziest silly season ideas possible out here. We'll get back to Martinsville. We'll get back to the SVG recap, and we'll come back to the whatever else we got to talk about. All right. Hear me out. The craziest silly season idea that I can possibly think of. All right, here we go. We're going to do it. Let's do it through the point standings. So, the first thing that happens, Alex Bowman leaves Hendrick Motorsports. Whether he goes to drive for someone else, you know what, in this scenario, let's have him go drive for, I was going to say RCR, but that's a terrible punishment. Let's send Alex Bowman to someone give me an idea, please. I'm already brain farting. Alex Bowman, you are going to Legacy Motor Club. There we go. Alex Bowman, you're going to Legacy Motor Club. Alex Bowman goes to Legacy Motor Club, opening up the 48 for Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain gets bought out of his contract. He goes to the Hendrick Motorsports number 48. And then that's where this gets really freaky, because Max Verstappen takes over the number 1 car in Trackhouse Racing, Red Bull sponsorship. Him and Shane Van Gisbergen go crazy on the road courses. Him, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Connor Zilic, all three of them in trio Red Bull cars, racing at COTA. Is that not just wild? In fact, I gotta see this thing. I would love to see Max Verstappen in NASCAR, dude. That would be the coolest thing ever. That might be my April Fool video. A few years ago, I used to do that, where I'd make like just an absurdly fake headline, and that would be like the April Fool's video. But then I tried to get a little bit more serious, and I didn't do that as much. I might need to bring it back. Better yet, dude, Max Verstappen to the 11. Denny Hamlin retires, and Max Verstappen replaces him. There's no NASCAR car. There's no renderings of fake Max Verstappen cars in the one. There's a bunch of Project 90 ones, but dude, that's just the craziest scenario I could think of. So I'll write it out. Bowman to Legacy, Chastain to Hendrick, Max Verstappen to Trackhouse. There we go. If that actually happens, I want a freaking a payday for that one. Cody Ware to the 48. Yes, yeah. Cody, I'm sorry, guys. Who is Max Verstappen? He has never, ever seen the wrath and the speed and the raw speed of Cody Ware in the Rick Ware racing car. Yeah, NASCAR, after Max Verstappen goes to NASCAR, it gets announced that we're going to a 36 race road course and street course circuit. And Max Verstappen, Shane Van Gisbergen, and Connor Zilisch go 1, 2, 3 in the points. Dude, what? Jesse Love's gonna get a cup car in the next 2 years if I had to guess. But dude, if he goes to, that would be wild, Denver. That would be wild. Dude, okay, so tonight has just been a bunch of conspiracies. That's the problem, though, Matt, is that Max Verstappen is afraid of the ovals. He won't do them. Like, if I just Google Max Verstappen ovals, look what pops up. Verstappen loves IndyCar but rules out racing on the ovals. He thinks it's too dangerous. And look, IndyCar, the Indy 500, that's fair. Even the NASCAR super speedways, I'll listen to that argument, man. But look, Max Verstappen, if you are going to come join NASCAR full time, this is, once again, we're going in the conspiracy theory route. Max Verstappen, if you are going to come over to NASCAR and you are afraid of the super speedway ovals, dude, there's a strategy for that. There's a strategy to never wreck. It's called sit in the back for 190 laps and let everyone wreck themselves. Finish 18th on the day. Take a good points day. It doesn't sound exciting. It doesn't sound fun. No, you don't get to go flat out. You don't get to race a lot. But it takes out that risk that you're afraid of. And all the other ovals, if you wreck, well, that's tough for you. So, Max Verstappen, come over to NASCAR, please. I will give you he doesn't get that. Let's go. Yeah. Max Verstappen, if you come over to the United States to race in NASCAR full time, I forgot to count. 50, 75, 1. I have $1.51 for you, Max Verstappen. It's all yours if you come over here and race in NASCAR. Okay. Speaking of international drivers in NASCAR, I think we have to go to the Shane Van Gisbergen recap. So, yeah. I got my notebook over here. What minute are we on? 48. 48 minutes. 48. Speaking of 48. After 20 minutes, maybe not 20 minutes, maybe 15 minutes of conspiracy theorying, if that's a word, about Max Verstappen to NASCAR, it's not going to happen. But we had some fun conspiracy theories here on the live stream. I decided we have to go on and talk about other international drivers. So Shane Van Gisbergen, Martinsville. As you can read by the tweet here, 11th. Decent result and some stage points. That's a big one. Just need to do a better job on restarts. Time for a week off. Yes, no Cup Series race this upcoming week. It's Easter. No Cup Series race, but there is no Riley and truck race if you are interested in it. So Shane Van Gisbergen at Martinsville. His best finish prior to yesterday was 12th back in 2024 when he was on that part-time schedule at Colleague Racing. That was his best oval finish at the time. So, what did he do today? Or what did he do yesterday? What did he do at Martinsville? It's a half-mile flat track. Oh God, I forgot to convert. Oh boy, this is embarrassing. That is 0.8 kilometers. Not very long. Not very long. So he actually started 5th in this race. That is his best qualifying effort on an oval in the Cup Series. Pretty sure that's his best qualifying effort in NASCAR on an oval, even going back to his O'Reilly days, if I had to guess. Someone's probably going to correct me. He might have qualified like 4th at a Daytona or something, but that's his best qualifying effort on an oval in the Cup Series for sure. So stage 1. Would you like to know the stage 1 recap? Of course you are. That's why you're watching this video. He fell to 6th place on lap 1. That's literally it. He ran 6th every single lap of stage 1. The one thing he said on the radio, let me know every 10 laps what lap we are on. That's it. That's stage 1. 5 stage points, though. So that's the big deal about the stage 1. While literally nothing happened, while literally nothing came over the radio, he scored 5 stage points. That's a really big deal. Shane Van Gisbergen last year on the ovals scored 10 stage points, maybe. That might be overly optimistic. And 8 of those, I think, came at super speedways. I think he scored some at New Hampshire, maybe Vegas. Maybe he scored 20. Maybe 10 was a little too aggressive. 20. Because I remember he scored some at Atlanta, and then he scored some at Daytona, and then he scored some at New Hampshire and Vegas. But 20 max. 20. So he scored 5 points in stage 1. That's a really big deal. Let's come over here. Okay? Everyone, come over here. Look at this. Stage points. 24 stage points, and we've only been to one road course, and I think he scored 9 stage points, 8 stage points at COTA, so approximately 15 stage points from the ovals. That's a massive, massive improvement. Remember, last year we talked about how terrible of a start it was and how they couldn't replicate it this year. Well, we're about to go, I've got a tab over here, we're going to go side by side, or not side by side. We're going to kind of talk about that improvement. So stage 1, nothing. Regarding the car, he just talked about how they were losing rear grip because, well, that's Martinsville. It's a heavy braking, flat track, and you kind of blow the rears off of it because the tires wear a lot. They added more horsepower, so everyone kind of struggling there. So pretty normal. Stage 2, he restarted 7th, said there was no rear, that he was really loose. Stage 2, he complained about the handling of the car a lot compared to Stage 1, where literally nothing was said. He had this incident with Blaney. Nothing was said over the radio, so it wasn't that big of a deal, but just typical Martinsville stuff. Bump and runs happen all the time at Martinsville. You shove people out of the way, bully each other, front bumper, fenders, side swipe, door bang, like whatever you want to say. Like that's normal Martinsville, and that's basically what he got. He got some more of that Martinsville experience we talked about in the past. I think SVG kind of threw a block. Blaney decided to bump and run him. SVG didn't like that he bumped and ran him, and he kind of doored him down the straight. Nothing extreme, nothing violent, nothing worth talking about more than we just did right there. It's just kind of normal Martinsville stuff. Ran 8th the rest of the stage, so he went from 7th, fell to 8th, and the rest of the stage he complained about the car's handling and how he had no rear grip, and then he just ran 8th the rest of the stage. Like, pretty uneventful day, honestly, in terms of up and down and up and down. Like 6th stage 1, 8th stage 2. And 8th in stage 2, that's 3 more stage points. I got to put the notebook down. 8 stage points for Shane Van Gisbergen at Martinsville. 8 stage points in one race on an oval, a non-super speedway oval. That's a really big deal, if you ask me, for him to do that. Stage 3, he restarted 6th, fell to 10th, said he had 0 rear grip. Then they were 10th place at the beginning of the pit cycle, and they did a little bit more of an aggressive pit strategy. This actually ended up being the race-winning strategy for Chase Elliott, where they pitted with about 130 laps to go, meaning that they were going to have to two-stop it, going to the finish of the race, whereas everyone else was pitting with about 100 to go. So basically, the strategy is you're going to pit early. You're going to make up a ton of time while everyone stays out for an extra 30 laps compared to you. You're going to cycle out to the top of the field. SVG, after this, cycled out to 2nd. But the problem is now everyone else has 30-lap tires better than you, and so you kind of plummet unless there's a caution. In that case, you might improve some positions, or in Chase Elliott's case, gets you to the front of the field and gets you the win. Well, SVG came out 2nd, fell to third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. He ends up falling back to eighth when this caution came out. So technically, it was a net gain. They were 10th at the beginning of the cycle. When this caution came out, they were 8th. That is +2. I'm no expert at math, but I believe that is +2. So they pitted again. Everyone pitted. Like at this point, everyone pitted. So now everyone's on equal tires. He restarts in 10th, falls back to 12th, runs 12th the rest of the race except for Ross Chastain. Ross Chastain, they were on old tires. They tried a different strategy. SVG passed him and 11th. So yeah, a really, really strong points day for Shane Van Gisbergen. In fact, I have a number here. That number is up here to 11th. 34 points. That is a lot of points on an oval for Shane Van Gisbergen. 8 stage points plus those 26 for finishing 11th. On the radio, they kind of talked about how their short run speed was lacking, but let's actually do this rapid fire. So 2025, you guys remember how that year started for Shane Van Gisbergen? Look at these numbers, okay? Bad, not great. COTA, which 6th at COTA, 6th place on a road course last year for Shane Van Gisbergen. Bad, 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 bad. This is where we were a year ago. Shane Van Gisbergen's best finish on an oval last year was 23rd at Atlanta, where I think he wrecked on the last lap. And it was a bunch of 30, 30, 30, 30, 30. A bunch of finishes in the 30s. Well, when we come over to this season and the results through 7 races of 2026, to say it got a little bit better is an understatement. If this would load. Please load. There we go. Okay, 30 at Daytona again, 30s in Vegas again, but look at everything else. Top 10 at Atlanta, a better finish at COTA, which is a road course, but we know the expectation there. Same amount of points, ironically enough. A top 15 at Phoenix, a top 15 at Darlington, and a top 15 at Martinsville. He finished in the 30s in this race a year ago, 30s in this race a year ago, 20th in this race, so only a little bit of an uptick there, but still a really good finish there. So a much better start, and it reflects in the points. 14th in the points through 7 races with a 16-point gap on the chase bubble. Still 19 races to go. So that's the SVG recap. I got to get back to this live stream. So, okay. Who is Elliott caught in career wins? I believe Terry Labonte, I think is what Twitter said. I don't remember. Correct me if I'm wrong. So, well, the 11... No, I think Hamlin fulfills the contract. I think he goes through the end of 2027. I don't think he goes up to the end of this year. If he wins the championship, I could see him walking off. But outside of that, I don't really see any scenario like that. So, do we want to make Monday picks for Rockingham? So before actually we get into that, first of all, I'm going to end this poll. 21% of you thought Larson's going to go winless. So next week, no cup race, but I'm still going to do the Monday after, but it's going to be very abbreviated. We will briefly talk about Rockingham and the O'Reilly series. I mean, we barely talked about the O'Reilly series today. Justin Allgaier's on fire, dude. He can't stop winning. He's addicted to winning. He's just like Tyler Reddick in the Cup Series. Dude, Justin Allgaier is killing it in the O'Reilly Series. It doesn't matter where we go. So, there we go. I guess we talked about the O'Reilly Series now. In between the lanes is a question being asked by Micah. Yeah, let's go through some paint schemes, then we'll make our Monday picks. But point being, next week, 1 week from today, we will do a seriously abbreviated Monday after. I'm talking like 30 minutes max. We'll briefly kind of just go over everything in Rockingham, and then we will do Monday picks for Bristol. Monday picks for Bristol next week. So paint schemes in between the lanes. You're here. Hi, in between the lanes. Micah asked it for you. But paint schemes this week. Oh my God. The two worst paint schemes in the field finished 1-2. Absolutely disaster. Absolute disaster. So that sucked. Normal. The Cincinnati paint scheme is just an American flag. Can't really hate it that much unless I guess you don't like the American flag. Advanced Auto Parts is always a solid paint scheme. Normal. The Superfile scheme, it's lightning. Don't remember. Normal. Sirius XM, normal. Safety culture looks really weird on the one car. It looks really, really weird on the one car. I'm really not used to it. Really, really weird. I like the white Chili's paint scheme better. I really do. Don't remember. Normal. Don't remember. Normal. The FICO scheme, it exists. Choice, I think, was there. But the orange looked nice. It was all right. Don't remember. He was a wrecking ball, but green. Don't remember. Normal. The orange and blue looked all right together. The Hardee's paint scheme looked good. I thought the Hardee's paint scheme looked really good. Yeah. I thought the Hardee's paint scheme looked solid, and then it got wrecked. So that sucked for him. So that's the paint scheme review this week. Monday picks for the O'Reilly Series and the Truck Series at Rockingham. Truck Series, Corey Heim is back. Corey Heim is in the one truck. I don't want to spoil anything, but Adam Andretti, Sammy Smith, Connor Hall, Luke Baldwin. I forgot about this. I guess we haven't talked about this yet. Daniel Ty. I don't know how long he's going to be suspended, but man, that was certainly a decision by him. Then we got, going down the list, I think this is Corey LaJoy. This is going to be Corey LaJoy, so I can't even say the joke because, yeah. Parker Eatman is in the 42. Okay. Landon Lewis in the 45. Michael Christopher Jr. in the 62. At the ripe young age of 126 in the 69. Nice truck. Carson Hocevar is going to be in the 77. Very cool. Let's hear it. Nash Truck Afternoon. Nash Truck Afternoon on a Friday afternoon feels dirty to say. Born Again Briar says Brendan Queen. In Between the Lanes says Heim. User Who Loves the Playoffs says Dawson Sutton. David says Corey Heim. Jamie says I at the young age of 126. Micah says Caden Honeycutt. George says it's Heim time. Keytar says Chris Wright. All right. Martin says Lane Riggs. Matt Smith says Hocevar. Any other Nash Truck Afternoon in America picks for Rockingham? I'm going Corey Heim. Yeah, Corey Heim. Corey Heim. It's boring, I know, but Corey Heim. Corey Heim. Yes, Keytar. Hocevar is racing in the Truck Series race. They're very much allowed to race in these races. They have a limit. I think it's 10, but he's allowed and he's doing it. Carson Hocevar's in the 77. Craig's going with Hocevar, by the way. Cameron's going with Ankrum for the repeat. Wild cards? Sammy Smith. I'm counting that as a wild card. Let's go to the O'Reilly Series. The NASCAR O'Reilly Series at Rockingham. Sammy Smith is the defending winner. Garrett Smithley's in the 0. By the way, there were a ton of crashes at Martinsville in the O'Reilly series. It was very annoying. The 0 did 3 of them, so that's what triggered my memory. Ryan Ellis in the 02. JJ Alley in the 5. All right. Brent Cruz is in the 19. Andrew Patterson is back in the 32. Cletus McFarland's in the 33. I'm very curious to how this is going to go. Very, very curious to how this is going to go. At the ripe young age, 126 is going to be in the 35. Then we have Nathan Bird in the 42. All right. We have anyone else? Blake Lothian in the 55. Yeah. All right. Let's see these picks. Sheldon Creed is George's pick. Okay. Time to Talk 100 says Josh Balicki. In Between the Lanes says Austin Hill. We got a lot of Cletus McFarland picks here in the comments. We got Craig picking Cletus. We got Michael Brown says Cletus passes Allgaier on the last lap. David says Justin Allgaier. Very safe pick if you ask me. Brock says Cletus McFarland. Jamie says Jesse Love back in victory lane. That would be some redemption right there. Matt Smith says Jesse Love. Cameron says Allgaier. George says Sheldon Creed. I think I already said that. I can't remember. Wild cards? Wild cards. Brent Cruz is my wild card. Does that count as a wild card? I'm going to go Brent Cruz as a wild card. I'm not going to pick him to win, but that would be my wild card. Born Again Briar says Ryan Sieg. Okay. I like the idea of redemption. I like a good redemption story. So Jesse Love, after getting disqualified from this race a year ago, Jesse Love to win. Those are the Monday picks. All right. I got to go edit this SVG recap, get it up for the internet in Australia and New Zealand, and I guess whoever else wants to watch it. But thank you guys for watching. We will be back next Monday after the... I didn't even drink any of this tonight. I need to be better at hydrating. Let's see. What was I saying? Next Monday, we'll be back for an abbreviated Monday after. The Monday after Rockingham. And then we will do our Monday picks for Bristol. So that'll be exciting. Any other news that comes up this week? It's been kind of a slow-ish news cycle. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed. We will see you next week.